My name is Mark Fenton. I'm from the greater Boston area. I'm an engineer by training. As you learned, I was a race walker by avocation. I used to be a competitive race walker, which we learned you were as well. We'll talk about that in a second. What we're doing is demonstrating a process we call a walk audit. That's where we go out and audit or assess the environment on foot. So we call it a walk audit. On doing these kinds of things is that you go scout the area ahead of time. You have to know where you're going to take the group. So if you were going to lead a walk audit, I would say be prepared to go look at the area ahead of time, figure out your walk, figure out how long it is going to take so that you don't plan for 1 hour and it takes you 2 hours. It's reasonable. Okay, so 3 rules, just to remind you, the 3 rules. 1, be careful, we're out in the real world, don't just cross the street because somebody in front of you does. Look at the traffic, be careful. 2, look through the eyes of all users. Don't just think about yourself. Think about somebody who's blind or visually impaired, somebody who's in a wheelchair, somebody who's very, very young or much, much older, walking with a cane. In other words, think of all types of users. Think of somebody on a bicycle. None of us are biking. Think about this person who's coming with a stroller right down the street right now. And then 3rd, score where we're walking on a 0 to 10 scale of activity friendliness. If you think it's very encouraging for walking or bicycling, you'd give it a 10. 0 if it didn't. So use the criteria from our lecture, right? Are there a mix of destinations? Is there a good network of facilities? Does it feel safe and accessible? Does the site design invite me to show up on foot or by bike?
I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I had the opportunity to come here to Queens, New York for this training and community meeting, and I'm so inspired by the turnout and the diversity of people and organizations represented, and I felt like the presentations by Mark Fenton and the information that he provided us was so informative and really gave all of us in this community and beyond some tools to really work with as we kind of make healthier communities, make them more walkable, bikeable, and open for physical activity.
Yeah, this was a great chance to come together with other community leaders and to really get some more expertise on active design, and really I loved that it was a participatory activity where we got to walk around and really think out of the box about the neighborhood that we were in and how to make it more active.
Okay, so we were more clustered, just 5 to 8, right? Not as broad a range, still in kind of that mid-range. So what were the negatives? What kept it from going all the way up to a 9 or a 10? It still only kind of hovered in that 6.5, 7, whatever.
It's all residential.
Yeah, so not a lot of different destinations.
Too narrow sidewalk.
Yeah, sidewalk got skinny in a couple spots. Good. What else?
Drivers were driving really fast and careless.
Yeah, I was surprised that cut through traffic. You understand why they asked for those stop signs, right?
Yeah.
And why some sort of a traffic calming device might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Got your number?
8, 5, 6, 5, 4, 7, 8, 2, 5, 7.
I heard a range from 2 to 8, but I heard a lot of clustering in that. If I did an average, I'd be about 5.5 or 6, I think, maybe 6. I think it was above 5. So here's my point. Why not a 10? Tell me some of the things that lowered it one at a time so everybody can hear you. Go. Lowered it from a 10. What?
Garbage on the sidewalk.
Right, trashy sidewalk.
No bike lane.
No bike lanes.
Some of the crosswalks aren't taken.
Yes, this crosswalk, very worn out. Excellent.
Very narrow
Sidewalk. So there were places that got narrow, hard to walk 2 abreast. So if I'm walking and the lady with the stroller comes the other way, we can't pass each other. Excellent. What raised your score? Why not a 0? I heard some 7s and 8s even. What were good? Yeah, that community garden. Do you guys love that? Yeah. To me, that makes it, it's just that, and it tells me a lot more. It tells me there's community engagement. Somebody cares about this space. What else? There are sidewalks, that's right. So within a few blocks, we hit a lot of services. Good.
I have to organize walk group with the community members, so at least once a week, so that we could build a good relationship among the community people.
So I think it's definitely like the aspect of built environment, bikeability, walkability, having complete streets, safe streets is definitely a big. Thankfully, it's a big component of the current city administration, and so the community, we as the community, is really great to have a voice and just like take part in how you create that change and progress.
3 P's for intervention. Are there programs you think we could do to make it safer, more inviting, increase the scores, basically? So Anywhere that was anything less than a 10, my goal would be say, how can we make it closer to a 10? I'm not saying we're going to turn a 5 into a 10 tomorrow, but if a 5 could become a 7, then it's better. So are there programmatic? Are there project, physical infrastructure ideas? Paint this, put the circle where Mark said. Or P, policy ideas. I'm going to write these 3 words up on the little marker board to remind you. I want you to be thinking of ideas. Over lunch, let's talk about all 3. Programmatic ideas, physical projects, policy changes that would increase the score of where we were.
There is a high need for more walkable and bikeable streets in Queens, and we want that to be led by the people that live here. So I will await word on what they decide to do.